Hi, welcome back to Gigat's Country Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a gluten-free vegan burger that is really so good. And anybody can eat one of these burgers, and you don't have to be vegan. You don't have to have a gluten-free problem. They're just good tasting. So they have nuts and rice and oats and all kinds of good stuff in them. So we're just going to jump right into this recipe. I have, family members who are gluten free. And a lot of people don't understand what that is, but it's a where in the intestine area, your body just cannot break down the gluten. It causes all kinds of pain, swelling, hurting. It's a serious condition that really a lot of people are affected by nowadays. So this is a burger that everyone can eat and you can make for your family members when they come over that might need a gluten-free product. But we're going to take 1/3 of these blanched. And what it is they're just a peeled almond basically. And we're going to put that into our Ninja uh, processor here. And then we're going to take 1/3 cup of pecans, and we're going to grind those up into a meal type texture. And it does not have to be precise. Um, Even sometimes I'll use all of one or what have you. So let me set those out of the way. Okay, and I love this little chopper here. It just does so good. Just start at first tapping, letting it come down and raise up and stopping so that it doesn't just build up in the bottom. Okay, you just want a fine meal texture to this. Let's see what we've got. That's about right there. Let's move that blade out of the way. And you can see it's just a fine texture. If you went on too much butter, you'd end up making a nut butter. We don't want it to start building up and getting sticky and the oils coming out of the nuts and having a nut butter. We want to be able to take and mix this in and use it in this form here. Okay, so we're going to put that into our bowl and get all of it out. We want all that good stuff. This recipe will make either 12 smaller burgers or 6 really large burgers. So your choice in what you want to do here. We're going to need this again in a moment to grind up our oats. So I'm just going to go ahead and set it right here. All right. So we're going to go ahead. I have some rice that I have pre-cooked. And what I like to do is when I do my meal prepping, I try to think ahead of what all I might need with any other recipes that I plan to make that week. So we're going to do 2 cups of rice. And this is a brown jasmati rice, but you can use, whatever you like. Okay. We have, and then we're going to add to that some seasonings. This is a Weber Gourmet Burger seasoning. I really love the flavors that this brings to your product that you're making. And we're going to do 2 good tablespoons of seasoning. Okay. We're going to do 1½ teaspoon of garlic. And this is a granulated garlic. There's 1½ I rung the bell, didn't I? Okay, we're going to do 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I use a Himalayan pink salt. You can use the salt of your choice. This is a teaspoon, so it'll be just a little less than that. All right, let's blend these up first. Just get them sort of work together before we start putting some of our other ingredients in. Okay. Now, I have a nutritional yeast here. We're going to be using a half a cup of it. And if you are vegan, nutritional yeast is a great source for vitamin B12. So you can add this. This is a good way to add it to your diet. We're going to put a half a cup. See, this just has all kinds of good stuff in it. It's good for everybody. Okay. To that, let me just work that in just a second. We're going to go ahead and add in some liquid Bragg's. What liquid Bragg's is a liquid amino, and there again, things that our body really needs, and we're going to put 2 tablespoons of liquid Bragg's. One and 2. Now remember, liquid Bragg's will also add a salt taste to your food. So, you need to make sure that you don't over salt. So be careful with that. All right. To this, we're going to add 1 small onion. And I just have some onions that I meal prepped and diced up. And I'm just going to put a half a cup. That's about what a small onion, a good half cup. You can, base it however you want. Okay. We're going to put a can of tomatoes that are diced. You can use fresh tomatoes. If you have fresh tomatoes coming in like from the garden when it's that time of year, that's what I use. But I love these fire roasted ones because the fire roasted just adds another level of flavor. So we're going to put that whole can in here. Okay. You get all that good stuff out of there. Alrighty. And we'll start mixing this together. Okay, and then to this, I need to add a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm going to be using an avocado oil. It is the oil of my choice. I'm going to go ahead and use this one and just not fill it quite all the way up. Okay. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do at this point is we're going to blend this together really, really good. So I've got me a pair of gloves. You can do it just barehanded, what have you. But I'm going to put these on so I'll be able to come right back, pull them off, and still have clean hands and be able to show you what we do next. Okay. So you get in here, get all this off my little spatula. Okay. And squeeze it together. Because this needs to be thick enough that we're going to make patties out of it. And we're going to grind up some oatmeal as a binder. But what the rice will do is when it's fresh out of the pot, the rice is still really moist, and it is not, after you put it in the refrigerator, it sort of like hardens up just a little bit. That's why when you heat it up, you have to put a little water with it. But it's going to soak in some of these juices as it is softening back up as well. But you can use, I've even took in those little pouches of rice that's pre-made. You can use them. You can, just use fresh rice right out of the cooker. You can do like I do meal prep. Get you a bowl of rice. I use it in multiple recipes at different times. But what you're going to do is get all this blended up really, really good. Okay. And I'm going to leave my little glove right here so I can come back to this. And we're going to grind up a little bit of oatmeal real quick. And it usually takes about a cup to a cup and a half of oats. All right, this is the oatmeal that I like to use. I have one bag open here that may or may not have enough in it. We'll see. Okay. And we're just going to use our same Ninja chopper. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and do a cup and a half and just make sure. Yeah, I didn't think we had enough in this bag. Got about a cup. So let me open that other bag up real quick. And if you don't go buy expensive oatmeal flour. Oatmeal flour is just ground up oats. You get a whole rolled oats or even a quick oat, and you just cut that in your chopper like I have here, or even a coffee grinder will work, and you make your own and save yourself some money because it's just like almonds. You can make your own almond flour. You can make your own baby food with the oatmeal like this. You just grind it up. That's all you got to do. Save yourself a little money. And then you know what's in your food. And the reason we're using oatmeal is because it swells up whenever it has moisture added to it, and it makes a binder. And that's what we need for our burgers here. We need something to bind them together, that as they are cooking, that it swells up. And you can cut your onions a little finer than what I had right here. That's just what I already had chopped up. It's up to you. Some people don't mind having a bigger piece of onion in their burgers, and some people do. So, whew, my glove won't stay on. I need me some tight-fitting ones. These are my restaurant gloves, and boy, they just won't fall off. All right, we're going to go ahead and get all that oat flour in here. I think we're going to need every bit of it. It varies because when you have canned tomatoes, the amount of juice that is in those tomatoes vary. And so that's the reason I can't just tell you, oh, it's going to be this amount or that amount. It really depends on those tomatoes and how much liquid it adds into our recipe. Okay, and we're going to mix this in. We're going to let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then I will be back to show you exactly what we do next, and it'll be ready. Okay, we're back. I've started making some burgers. I'm going to show you how to do the last 3. So this batch, this usually gets about 6, really nice big. You see how big these burgers are. And so I'm going to show you a little technique and how to form these burgers. If you don't have a burger press, they're very inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon. You can go to Walmart. There's several places. Just look up burger press. And this makes, I do my chicken patties that are vegan. I do my burgers, all kinds of things with this. So it's really handy. So what I did is I took some parchment paper and I folded it into 3 parts, and I took and drew a circle around this to the size of my press, and I made me some little inserts. So what's good to do, because this is sort of a wet, sticky mixture right now until we cook it, I put this piece of parchment paper in there. I'm going to give just a little spray of oil in here, and I like to spray the bottom of my press. and just sort of spread it all over your press here. Okay, and get it nice and ready. Now, this is a half cup of scoop. Excuse me, my tongue twisted there. Scooper here that you can do, an ice cream scoop, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and need to make sure this looks like we're only going to get 5 out of this batch. I may have made them a little big, but that's okay. We'll get what we get. So now that we have these sprayed, I have that in. I'm going to take and I'm going to just press this down gently. Don't just squeeze it until it comes all up here, but you want to feel that it has resistance. Then pick it up, turn it over, push forward just a tad, and have you some paper towels handy because this can get messy. And just lay your parchment paper over to the side. We're going to flip this over onto our paper and raise up our press, okay? And that's the best way that you can make your little burger. So then what we're going to do now is I put that back in there. Just wipe off the end of your press and around the sides a little bit. And you just start that process all over again, okay? So in with a piece of parchment paper. And every now and then, if you're doing a whole bunch of these, it builds up on here and you need to maybe just wipe everything down, give it a little rinsing, and let's see. Let's do a small burgers too. We'll do 2 small burgers that has 1 scoop. So you can see what those look like as well. And just press it down till you feel a little resistance. Keep it all sort of level. Take your top off. Come up. Pull your parchment paper off. Flip it over. And then pull up on your press. Now see, that's about the size of the burgers you get when you buy them from the store. These are just really big. What I like to do with the big ones is whenever you have a lettuce burger, in other words, the bun of your burger is a lettuce. It just makes it really, really handy and filling to have a nice big, burger there to enjoy. So let me get this last one. Parchment paper going in. We're going to do a little spray. Rub it. And let's just get the rest. I always want to set that down face down. I'm just going to get the rest of this out of our bowl here. Let me get all the goodness out of that. And it's good. Just get you some paper towels and lay them out there too to catch all the stuff while you're making it. And that makes cleanup really easy. Putting parchment paper on your baking sheet and all just really makes that cleanup very easy. I'm going to just put that down in here. And you sort of put it towards the center. And let's get all this out of it. Okay. Alrighty. And we're going to press. This may be a little bit skinnier. I may have, the rice may have just been a little bit less or what have you when I put it in there than that first batch I made. So it varies. It's okay. Alright, we're going to raise this up. Push that out. Come out, little burger. The little ones want to stick a little more than the bigger ones did. But you see it's soft. So I'm going to go put these in an oven, 375, and you're going to put a foil over the top of them, or you can just take another baking sheet and flip it over them. And we're going to bake these. I'll have all the information on that in the description. And I'll be right back to show you the finished product. Hey, we're back. The burgers are all done. And I have made one here with our homemade buns that we have another video for with homemade bread there. This is the oat bread and oat bun. And this one is a burger that I made for my husband. He's going to have a good old big fun with his and enjoy that. And I'm just going to show you, since these are gluten-free burgers, I'm going to show you real quick how to just continue with a gluten-free burger using lettuce as a bun. Now you can get this, you can either buy a bundle of green leaf lettuce or any kind of lettuce that has some pretty good leaves on it. Sometimes I use Butter Crunch, different ones, but this one is a handy one because they have some pretty good sized leaves already. And what you do is you're going to lay you a little base with your lettuce and sort of crisscross them a little bit like that. Go ahead and you're going to put you some mayonnaise just like you would a bun, and just sort of rub that mayonnaise right there on your lettuce. Okay, just a little bit. That's all we need. Okay. And then you take your tomatoes. I like nice big thick tomatoes. My husband loves the real thin cut tomatoes. And we'll take a few onions, put on there. Whoop. And some pickles. And then we take one of our burger patties. Now these will firm up even more as they cool. And then they're great after you refrigerate them and have to reheat them. And what I do is in my air fryer, I just put a little bit of liquid bragg, some garlic or barbecue sauce, whatever you want on them, and put them in and just heat them up in your air fryer, or you can do them on a skillet or in an oven, whichever one you want. And remember, these were the big thick ones. This was the double scoop, and these right here were the little ones that was the single scoop. Okay, now what we'll do is put some ketchup. Let me wipe my hands off a little bit. We're going to put some ketchup. Got to get all the works on here. Have all them goodies. A little messy when you go to eat it. Stuff tries to fall out. But you know, when you make your burger like this, it's sort of like having a salad, a burger salad. It's the same thing that I put the very same ingredients in that one. And what you want to do so you can pick it up good is get some good leaves here. And you just want to crisscross them a little bit. And I'm going to put 3 leaves on top here, like that. And that way, when you go to pick your burger up, you just pick it up like this and you sort of curl them bottom leaves around there, and you have a nice, beautiful gluten-free burger to eat. Isn't that great? So for people who just cannot digest the gluten and need that little extra, there's you a beautiful burger that you can have and make yourself, and you know the ingredients are good because you put them all in there. You made it happen. And I just want to thank y'all, and please visit and like and subscribe to our channel. Just in our videos, we have a lot of good stuff out there and got a whole lot more coming. And I hope that you'll go and check out our bread video that we just did as well. This bread is just so nice and tender and beautiful and has a really good texture. I think you'll love it. It was hard not to just get into it with some butter on it, and to be all truthful, if you notice some of that bread's missing, we done did. But I thank you so much, and God bless you, and visit our channel again.